Change occurs whether we want it to or not. Sometimes we're excited and we look forward to change. We want it, we embrace it. That's when it's super easy. But what do we do when change happens unexpectedly? Whether it be change in our personal or professional lives, we must learn to be able to adapt, adjust, and embrace change because whether we like it or not, change is inevitable and it's gonna happen. And I know it can be really difficult, especially when we have so carefully thought out and executed the perfect plan, only to have it all change in an instant. Then what? Well, how we handle change will make a huge impact on our lives. We can choose to let change debilitate us or liberate us. And I'm going to share with you 5 ways that will help you embrace change. Number 1. Welcome the fact that change is constant. Our lives will never be change-free, ever. We will always grow older, grow wiser, grow out of relationships. We're going to grow as human beings. We'll experience new things, broaden our horizons, learn something new, meet some amazing or not so amazing people that will change us in some way. We'll mature, make mistakes, feel joy, experience pain, get frustrated, and delight in happiness. The beauty of life is that no single day will replicate the next. Our emotions, relationships, values, and perspectives are all in constant flux, and it's up to us to embrace it. Number 2, think about the worst thing that could possibly happen. Now, I know this may sound counterintuitive. However, this has really helped me adjust and adapt to change in my life. In my 20s, I read Dale Carnegie's book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And the biggest takeaway I took from this book that I still apply in my life is when we're faced with a challenge or unexpected change, it's to stop and recognize the absolute worst thing that can possibly happen. And usually it's not as bad as our minds make it up to be. And doing this helps us put back in perspective and focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. Number 3, understand that change makes us better. Recognize we cannot change the past. We have to let it go, and agonizing over something that is in the past is unhealthy and unrealistic. Rather than dwell on why things did not go exactly how you had planned, step back, see what you can learn from your experiences, and move on, understanding our past experiences guide us to make us better. Number 4, focus on the solution and not the problem. One of the most common myths of coping with unwanted change is the idea that we can work through our anger and fears and frustrations by talking about them a lot. This isn't always the case. In fact, research shows that actively and repeatedly broadcasting negative emotions hinders our progress. And I'm not saying you should just suck it up or ignore your troubles. Instead, recognize your anxiety or your anger so that you're aware of how it might distort your thinking. Then look for practical advice about what to do next. By doing so, you're going to zero in on the problem so you can form a solution. Then spend 20% of your time recognizing the problem and 80% of your time on the solution. And number 5, realize that change can be the scariest and most exciting part of life. As uncomfortable as it can be, change will never cease. You may not stay with the same partner. You may not keep the same job. You might not live in the same place. But as long as things are changing, that means you're living. And that's something to celebrate and embrace. I hope you enjoyed these thoughts on change. And remember, keep up the positive forward motion.